Hi, everyone. I'm Paige Wyatt, and I'm with the Heartland Society of Women Writers. And today I want to talk to you about pitch and query basics. So, first of all, you need to know what is a pitch, what is a query. So, a pitch is just a very short, like 1 to 2 sentence teaser, gives a little bitty taste of your book, and it gets the attention of your reader. A query is longer. It's more like a cover letter, and it reads more like back cover copy of a book. It doesn't give away everything, but it gives, it's more like a trailer, like a longer movie trailer for your book. It's about 250 to 300 words, and there's a very specific format for a query, whereas a pitch, you can play with it for a little bit. And why would you want to do this? Well, if you're an author that's considering the traditional publishing path, meaning that you want your books in, bookstores and brick and mortar places, and you want them sold all over the country, and you want an agent, then this is the track for you, and this is something that you might be interested in. When should you do it? So, you should always pitch a book whenever it's polished. This means that you've edited it more than once, you've looked at it, you've had 2 people look at it. If you have a critique group, if you don't have a critique group, we got you, girl. We are going to do critique partner matchups sometime in this future, so please keep an eye on that. But just know that your book's ready when you know that you can't make it any better on your own, and you feel like it's good and it's ready and you're proud of it and you're ready to put it out into the world for an agent or an editor to see. You should also think about pitching during pitmad. Pitmad is coming up on September 3rd. It is part of Pitch Wars, which is an organization that's not affiliated with us, but they do great work with helping writers get them ready for the publishing world. Please check out the Pitch Wars website. It's pitchwars.com, and it'll tell you all about pitmad and all about Pitch Wars too, if you're interested in that, because that's going to start up, I think, in the fall. And then querying can be done anytime. You just query whenever you're ready. Okay, so how to pitch. You need to answer 3 questions. Question number 1, what does your character want? Question 2, why does she want it? 3, why can't she get it? Remember, you keep it simple, you keep it short, but you keep it exciting. You tell them what's unique about your book. You get them wanting to read or know more. Here's a sample pitch I did. It's not very good. I purposely made it not very good, and I'll tell you why. And here it is. Janie and her girlfriend, April, have to say goodbye because Janie has to move to New York City. Can she and April survive their long-distance relationship? Can Janie's parents stay off drugs? Will Janie get into Juilliard? Find out in A Broken Sound by Paige Wyatt. First of all, no matter how dramatic your book is, it's not a soap opera, and it doesn't need to read like a cheesy soap opera unless it's a pitch for a book about a cheesy soap opera, in which case that's brilliant. But most of the time, you don't want to do this. There's too much information. It doesn't really sound unique. It sounds like any other YA or any other book that you might read. What's unique and special about this story? We don't know. Here is my revised pitch. 17-year-old Janie James wants to get into Juilliard to make her dead grandfather proud, but her drug addict parents and her anger put her on a path of mass vigilantism that might ruin her future if anyone finds out what she's really doing at night. Okay, this is much more interesting, right? We've got, the main character. We put her age in the front because we want to make sure that we position this in YA. If you're pitching YA or middle grade, then you need to make sure that you ground your reader in that immediately. I also added in yellow why she wants this. She wants to make her dead grandfather proud. That makes you feel for the character, makes her sympathetic. But then I added what keeps her from getting it. And also one other important aspect that you should always answer here. What are the stakes? What's going to happen if she doesn't get what she wants? I add in her drug addict parents. I add in her anger. I talk about mass vigilantism, which definitely piques people's interest because that makes my book unique. And then we talk about ruining her future and what she's doing at night and leave with a little intrigue. Also, if you're participating in a Twitter pitch contest, you want to make sure that you put the correct hashtags at the end. So hashtag YA for young adult, hashtag con for contemporary, and then of course, hashtag pitmad so that people can easily find it because the agents depend on those hashtags to search for what they're looking for. My character count is 267. Remember, Twitter only allows 280 characters. Okay, here's another pitch from a friend of mine. Etheria was born with rare, bright blue eyes and strong elemental abilities. She trains under the head priestess of her tribe to develop her skills and prepare her eventual rule as the chosen one of the guiding entity, the Foundress. With her loyal guard and servant at her side, Etheria is set to train with a master of elemental magic. While the way, the head priestess launches a plot to assassinate her young prodigy and take her place as ruler. Etheria must learn on her feet, suffer terrible loss, and eventually pay the ultimate price. The story is told from several perspectives as the journey unravels and has a sequel. Okay, so this query, this pitch, there's so much going on. It's really long. It kind of gets rambly, and there are a lot of details that we don't really need to know in the pitch. We don't need to know about Etheria's blue eyes. We don't really need to know about her guard and her loyal servant. We definitely don't need to know about how it's told from several perspectives and the journey unravels and has a sequel. We don't need to know those things. We just need to know the bare bones and have a little teaser, make us want to find out more. This is the kind of thing that you might put in a synopsis, which we'll cover at a later time, or in a query letter, which, like I said, I'll go in a lot more depth in queries in January, and I'll cover the bare bones today. But today is a lot about pitches because pitmad's coming up. Okay. Here is my revision of this. Etheria must train to hone her elemental abilities and rule as the Foundress to fulfill her destiny, but the head priestess plots to usurp her and rule in Etheria's stead. Can Etheria master her powers in time to save herself and everyone else? So again, a lot more intriguing. I tell you who my character is and what she wants right from the beginning. I tell you why she wants it. And notice how what keeps her from getting what she wants is much longer in both this example and in the previous example. Because that's how it should be, right? Look at how much green is on there and how much green is here, because those are your stakes. Those are what happens if she doesn't get what she wants. And remember, I upped the stakes a little bit in this pitch because, is she going to be able to save everyone else? The stakes don't get much higher than that. So what I want you to do, an exercise for you, is I want you to try it. MC wants plus why she wants it plus what's standing in her way. And I provided you with some sentence frames here. So blank wants blank to blank because blank, but blank happens and now has to blank or blank. Remember, your stakes are at the end. This thing happens and now this person has to do this or do that. Those are your stakes, and those are really important in the pitch. So if you're not comfortable with this and this is new to you and maybe you're confused, I might suggest trying this sentence frame exercise with maybe your favorite movie, your favorite book, your favorite TV show. Try to write pitches. Just sit down and try to write 3 or 4 pitches off of things that you already know, and then maybe try it with your own work. Run it past somebody, see what your feedback is, and see if they think it makes sense. Also, keep your eyes on our social media because we're going to do a pitch giveaway this week. So please watch out for that. I'm going to give away 3 pitch critiques. So that's another opportunity for you if you get your pitches ready. Okay. Queries. So I'm going to go back a slide because Queries are usually 3 paragraphs. You can play with this a little bit. The first paragraph is all about what is your big hook, who's your main character, what's unique about them, what do they want. The second paragraph is more detail. You introduce your antagonist, you introduce your problem, you talk about the stakes. Your third paragraph is your word count, the title of the book, any comp titles you have. So any titles that are kind of like your book, make sure you keep those comp titles recent. And then your bio. So anything about you that makes you more qualified to write this book or makes you more interesting. So, if you've had short stories published before, or some success in self-pub, or if you have a creative writing master's from the University of Limerick, you might add that in there. I don't. So in my bio, I just talked about teaching and playing guitar, but that's okay too. Whatever makes you unique and might stick out to this agent. Here is a query that I wrote for my second book. It got quite a few requests. Full disclosure, this was early on in my query writing days, and I did have someone look at it, and I paid an editor to look at it. And you can do that. I mean, a lot of times they're pretty affordable, and it helps me considerably. I had 2 or 3 different people look at this and workshop this with me, and it helps me write better queries. So I start out 16-year-old Fiona's pink hair, love for punk rock, and plus size figure make her a walking target at her cliquey small town high school. Okay, I tell you what my character is about and who she is and what makes her unique. But when she sneaks out of her house to watch her crush's band play, she's finally feels like she found a group of friends that understands her. So here's what she wants. She wants a group of friends that understands her. Until the knockdown drag-out fight at Denny's that ends with her friends in handcuffs and the rich and powerful Easton siblings who started it getting off without even a slap on the wrist. Again, so you have, the conflict, the thing that starts the journey, the thing that starts the problem. It gets worse when Fiona's mother forces her to join student council as a way to keep her out of trouble. And it's student council duties that lead her directly to Landon Easton, the boy with whom she shared her first kiss on the basketball court when they were 12 and then ditched her when he chose popularity instead. Their time together brings up love, hate, and everything in between, which only disrupts their completely opposite worlds. So again, the second character, the conflict, the 2 important people in the story. Fiona struggles to balance her feelings for Landon and her loyalty to her other friends. But when one of her friends is charged with assaulting one of Landon's, every encounter with Landon is a betrayal. As tension builds between the 2 groups, Fiona and Landon have to figure out how to stop the fighting before it goes too far and destroys more than relationships and reputations. Again, my stakes. My last paragraph, Never Sometimes, that's the title. 77,000 word Wyatt contemporary. I put my comp titles there that you can read. And then, of course, I add my bio. I'm a punk enthusiast who spends her day proudly persuading 11th graders to free fall into a good book. When I'm not scribbling notes in the margins of my students' essays, I'm playing terrible covers on my acoustic guitar. Thank you for your time and consideration, sincerely. Now, whenever you write a query, make sure you actually put the agent's name up here. Don't say Dear Agent or Dear Agent, insert agent name here. Don't do that. I'm going to go a lot more in queries in another video because there's so much to cover and we're going to do like a full-on thing on it. So don't worry if you're worried about it, but you can check out these really great resources. QueryShark.blogspot.com is an agent that goes through queries and critiques them. I suggest reading the entire website. I know it's a lot, but it will help you so much. Anything by Jane Friedman is great. Anything by Writer's Digest is great. Joining an online community to swap letters, query letters, or pitches is a great idea, like Pitch Wars message board or a Reddit group or a Facebook writing group or even our community. And also watch out for that because we're going to provide opportunities for you to connect with other people. Come to a write-in. Come to one of our write-ins. We have them every month. They're on our Facebook calendar. If you don't have Facebook, let us know and we'll send you out all the Eventbrites. They're free. They're a great place to connect and swap things with people and get some feedback. And then we're going to have a contest this weekend too. So, enter that contest and send me your pitch and I will gladly critique it if you win the contest. So just keep your eyes open for that because I'm going to give away 3 pitch critiques this weekend. And that's going to help you to have, third-party eyes on that. So please don't forget to connect with us. Like us, follow us on all of our socials, and reach out to us if there's something that we can do to help you because that's our job. We want to uplift female writers and we want to uplift all women writers. And we want you to feel like you're supported and that you're loved and that you have a soft place to land when you're in this writing journey. We know it's tough. We know it's hard. So we're here for you. And please pay attention to our social media because I really, really want to do some good pitch critiques this weekend. So thank you so much. I appreciate you tuning in. Bye.